It was 5 degrees that morning, the kind of cold that stings your lungs with every breath. And there he was, my grandson, standing barefoot on the frozen sidewalk, trembling in nothing but a t-shirt and shorts. His lips were purple, his arms wrapped around his ribs like he was trying to hold himself together. That was my first glimpse of the betrayal. I stopped the car so hard the tires screamed. He looked up, eyes wide, then darted toward me like a stray dog afraid of being kicked. I threw my coat over his shoulders. His skin felt like ice under my palms. And then I looked past him, toward the house. Through the frosted window, I saw them. My son, his wife, her parents, their children, all gathered around a glowing table. Golden turkey at the center, candles lit, laughter filling the room. Eating, drinking, celebrating while their child was outside in the freezing dark. Something inside me went silent. I walked up the driveway with the boy clinging to my side. I didn't knock. I didn't wait. I kicked the door open so hard it slammed into the wall. Plates rattled, forks froze midair, and I said 6 words that cut the air in half. You left him out to die. Their faces drained white. But this moment didn't begin here. It began years ago when I raised my son. I poured everything I had into him, nights working double shifts, mornings skipping meals so he could eat. I wanted him to grow into a man who'd protect his own, who'd never let family go cold. But he had his mother's weakness for approval. He married into money, and money taught him cruelty wrapped in smiles. His wife's family didn't like me. They said I was too blunt, too plain, too unwilling to play the game. So they pushed me to the edge of his life, and he let them. At first, it was small. Calls unanswered, invitations forgotten, birthdays without a card. Then came the silence. The last time I saw my grandson, he was 5. He clung to me as if he knew I was being erased from his life. His mother pulled him back with a smile too sharp for her face. That was the day I promised myself. If they ever crossed the line, I wouldn't shout. I wouldn't beg. I would burn everything they valued. Quietly, thoroughly. I started watching from a distance. I kept records, photos, times, dates. They thought they had cut me out, but I knew every detail. I knew about the overdue mortgage he was hiding from his wife. I knew about the consulting fees her father claimed on taxes that didn't exist. I knew about the late-night messages my son sent to a woman who wasn't his wife. Betrayal was a web. I only had to tug one thread, and the whole structure would collapse. But I waited, because revenge isn't served hot. It's served precise. And then, Thanksgiving. The boy outside, that was the final straw. I called a friend at Child Protective Services before I even opened that door. Sent her the photos, the videos, the timestamp of the freezing air. I told her I'd testify. Inside the house, silence thickened as my words settled. My son's hand shook as he set down his glass. His wife's face twisted, not with guilt, but with fear of consequence. "You don't understand," he started. But I did, better than he thought. I laid my coat tighter around the boy's shoulders. "Eat your turkey," I told them. "You'll need the strength. Lawyers take time." The weeks after were a storm I had already mapped. CPS came first. The boy was taken into emergency custody, placed with me. His little room was ready within an hour. Warm blankets, hot cocoa, a lock on the inside of the door. Because safety isn't just warmth, it's control. Then the IRS knocked. Those consulting fees exposed. Her father's face, when the agents pulled records from their cabinets, must have matched the color of the turkey meat they had carved that night. And finally, the affair. I didn't even have to leak it. I just sent the messages to his wife's phone. She read them in silence, her manicured fingers trembling, then left the house without a word. Piece by piece, their empire crumbled. And I didn't raise my voice once. Now, months later, I watched my grandson sleep soundly in his bed. Warm, safe, breathing deep. People ask me if I regret it, if it hurts to see my son ruined. I don't regret a single step. He betrayed me long before that Thanksgiving table. He betrayed the boy shivering in the cold. I gave him life. He gave his child neglect. So when I kicked that door open, when I spoke those 6 words, it wasn't rage that filled me. It was justice, the kind that doesn't shot, the kind that cuts clean. And as I sit in the quiet now, I realize something. Revenge wasn't the goal. It was the correction of a mistake I made years ago, believing my son was the man I raised him to be. He wasn't. But I'll make sure his child